against Dimir Inverter. And I'm sure that player's name will show up on that graphic in just a moment, because Edgar's opponent is not nameless and faceless. Edgar's going to start things off with Watery Grave. Edgar feeling very good about Saltide Delirium here this week, and I had the opportunity to chit-chat with him about it, as here is a copy of Satyr Wayfinder. So I'm going to take a look at the top couple of cards. Uro being placed in the graveyard, no land to be found. This is a Thought Eraser. So Edgar's hand is a Walking Ballista, a copy of Uro, a Blooming Marsh, and a Fatal Push. This is generally what these hands look like with Saltide Delirium. I think Edgar was really banking on the fact that Satyr Wayfinder would find a land. It did not do that.
No, but this hand is not the easiest thing to do something productive with a Thought Erasure. The 2 modest cards in Euro, which questionable how much you want that in the graveyard.
Thoughtseize is going to be placed in the graveyard from the Surveil. We're going to head back over to Magalhaes. Here comes Satyr Wayfinder down to 19. And now this is Uro. So Edgar's going to gain 3 life. He'll draw a card, get the opportunity to put a land on the battlefield. You know the drill. Cameron Neighbours is the opponent, as you can't see that now. So he's going to fall down a little bit lower to 17 from playing a Watery Grave untapped. In for 1 comes Magalhaes. He'll play a Breeding Pool untapped. And he's thinking about tapping 5 mana for something. Edgar does have Delirium right now with a...
Kana, perhaps?
Well, actually, let me make sure. Artifact, creature, sorcery. And then the rest are just creatures in Emrakul, Uro, and Jace, Vryn's Prodigy, so I take it back. So let's go to Uro. Let's exile the graveyard, and Mystical Dispute's going to take care of that for a single blue. So goodbye, Titan of Nature's Wrath, as we head back over to Cameron Neighbours.
Magalhaes now out of the other Euro and very little resources in the graveyard, so it might be a ways away from being able to escape that again.
We out here. We are not messing around. Just a 3-card deck now.
So untap, draw a card, and Thassa's Oracle is the game.
So Edgar better, yep.
I mean, we are aware of the push from earlier, so,
Traverse.
Or you just clobber him with your 6/6.
Well, you traverse and get an island and just pass here. Well, that's a good way to clear the path. Going to probably take the Fatal Push.
Cool.
That was.
Super goal.
Cameron Neighbours going to very quickly and easily win game 1.
5-card hand, too. It was on 5 cards.
Yep. This deck is a cracker jack. Now, Edgar, he does feel like this matchup was pretty good for him.
You lose a good matchup sometimes.
You do, and he never lacks confidence, but that game was, let's call it what it was, one-sided.
Everyone thinks their matchup against the 50% matchups are good because they're among our better players, because they're typically playing against players who are worse. Things start looking a lot different at the 10-3 tables and in the top 8.
You're not wrong.
Often.
For Magalhaes, his sideboard, he's got 2 Damping Spheres, a Hostage Taker, a Tireless Tracker, 3 Leyline of the Void, an Abrupt Decay, 2 Mystical Dispute, 2 Salteye Charms, an Agonizing Remorse, and 2 Unmoored Ego.
I don't know if you want Leyline for this matchup, if people have different takes on that sort of thing, but it's certainly an option at the minimum. The Mystical Disputes, Sultai Charms, and Unmoored Ego seem well situated here, along with another copy of Tireless Tracker.
For Cameron Neighbours, his sideboard, something we're getting really used to seeing, 2 Dampening Spheres, a Thassa's Oracle, a Cast Down, a Hero's Downfall, 2 Mystical Disputes, and a Negate, 2 Jace Vryn's Prodigy, 3 Legion's End.
Want the Jaces, and I could see bringing in more copies of Mystical Dispute, maybe some removal. I don't know. No, I could honestly see just same 60 this one, but maybe a little bit of removal, or the Jaces could be valuable.
Fair enough. Those are the options there for both players. Game 2 about to be underway, as you can see right now. Magalhaes down a game, looking for his 5th trip in a row to the elimination rounds. We'll see if he can get there against Neighbours, who is up a game here with Dimir Inverter. I think its top 8 conversion rate is going to be pretty darn high. But if you are that Golgari aggro deck we just saw, you are happy about that. Choked Estuary, reveal an island. Let me get a good look at the grip, Edgar. Uro, Eat to Extinction, Mystical Dispute, Breeding Pools, plural, and a Forest is the hand that Edgar Magalhaes is working with. So we'll see what Neighbours wants to take as he writes down all that information on his Start City Games life pad. And Mystical Dispute, kindly leave. Back to Magalhaes, he kicked things off with, and I want to make sure I get this right. Is that an Opulent Palace? Do I still have it?
Do you still have it?
It is an Opulent Palace.
Wow.
That's the Sultai Tri-Land.
I'm really impressed.
Thank you.
Because it wasn't even like that was played very heavily in its standard format. It was here and there, but it wasn't.
Sultai decks a little bit. Nothing crazy. I think I could name them all. I think. It's a big ass, though. So the one that's escaping right now is Mardu.
Oh.
It's Nomad something.
Not Stadium. That's a different thing.
That is very much a different thing. Here's Unmoored Ego. Name that tune. Inverter, I believe, is the tune that's been named. Neighbor's hand, he's got a Thoughtseize, a Fabled Passage, some sort of removal spell. It's escaping me. I think, yeah, it's Cast Down.
All right. You're doing a check here, I think, for counter spells, removal.
All right, just Cons of Tarkir. Frontier Bivouac, Teamer. Sandstep Citadel, Obzon. Opulent Palace, Sultai. There's two more.
Jeskai?
Mystic Monastery.
That's right.
Is that right?
I think that, yep.
Mystic Monastery? That doesn't sound right. MM?
I thought it was some sort of monastery.
It's definitely a monastery. No, that's right. I just checked. Okay, that's right. So now it's
the Mardu one.
It's the Mardu one.
No one knows or cares.
It was not played.
Yeah.
It is Nomad.
Here comes Butcher of the Horde. People do love that card.
Here's a Thoughtseize. Uro, Eat to Extinction, Breeding Pool, and Fabled Passage. Eat to Extinction gone.
Just love it. Love it.
It can't also be a monastery, right? It can't be Nomad Monastery. They wouldn't have two monasteries, right? They wouldn't do that.
So the Stadium is the white threshold land.
Yeah,
so it's not that.
I'm gonna go with Nomad Outlook.
Nomad Outpost. Is that it?
I think it's Outpost. I think you're right. Yeah, it's Outpost. Well done. Well done. Abrupt Decay is going to take care of Jace.
Like any good game designer, I have the best memory for cards no one's played.
Well done. Jace, Wielder of Mysteries, mill 2, draw a card. Edgar is in some serious trouble here, folks. He needs to get this Planeswalker off the battlefield. Thoughtseize. I don't think he's going to like what he sees. Opt, Downfall.
Action.
Dig. Fabled Passage.
Action.
A lot of action.
Remember, Neighbours now, because of that Unmoored Ego, working without Dimir Inverter for the remainder. Inverter choose for the remainder of the game here.
Bye-bye, dig through time. Come on back, Uro. Need some help, please. Draw a card. Gain some life. Play a land and Fabled Passage. Yeah, thin it out. Thoughtseize you again.
Okay.
Give me that Hero's Downfall.
Good looking turn.
Jace, you're next. Plus the Jace. Mill, 1, 2, draw. Jace Prodigy. How about an Opt? How about a Scry 1? How about a Keep It? How about an Opt? How about a Scry 1? Keep it again. Sacrifice Fabled Passage. Push your Uro.
And Edgar with no resources left in the graveyard for a re-escape. So some breathing space here for Neighbours.
It's a pretty close game. Use all your mana. See about how many cards that turn?
Just every turn is just it's just a combination of Ancestral plus use all my mana.
Yeah.
Make a land drop, use all my mana, flood my graveyard, draw 3, kill your thing, you're up. What did you draw? Best Perfect again? That's fine. Untap, draw 3.
Back over to camera, Neighbours. He'll mill himself 1, 2 with Jace.
Are we going to be looking at an emblem this game?
We could be. Thought Eraser. Cool. Cool card. Take your Thoughtseize. Transform my Jace. a real show of strength. Attack with JVP. You lunatic. Tireless Tracker. Timely. Really need a land.
Ooh, another card advantage engine. Let's compare.
Mill 2. Draw 1. We're going to get a good look at the graveyard. I wonder if there's an answer in the graveyard. Neat. That's dead. Watery Grave untapped. Down to 14. Big draw step here for E-Money. Had it. Tracker. Going to draw a lot of cards with Jace.
Anyone's game.
This inverter deck is yikes. In Philadelphia, we were like, do you remember this? We were like, don't think it's that good.
I think these builds have gotten better, though.
I do think they've
Jason's Prodigy over Pack Rat's a big upgrade. I think more Heroes Downfalls through the 75 is a big upgrade.
Yeah. I think Peter's got the best Dimir inverter deck for the weekend. He's got three downfalls through the 75. That's probably going to go to 4.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I wouldn't be surprised if that number goes to 4. Like, these players in Philadelphia, they were relying on it, and every time Peter draws it, it's like, or anyone that we watch play Dimir inverter, we're like, man, that's awesome.
Right.
Just an answer that you can flash back to take care of, like, any problem. Dig.
Edgar declining the cut.
Like that. Stand firm.
It's not like Edgar's draw was bad.
Edgar's draw was fine.
Yeah. Had some stuff
Little
to do.
discard, little Uro.
Right.
Unmoored Ego, your inverters, which that doesn't do anything, really.
It could if other things were happening, but they're not.
Which they're not. Bang! Untapped. Uro. Like that. Play around Mystical.
Yep.
Can't get anything by Magalhaes.
Although, there's a Narset on the battlefield, so, up to the user how much that matters. I'm assuming that the Mystical Dispute here means that Neighbours has it rolled up for next turn.
You think so?
Just to tap him out, even though he's not even going to draw a card off the Uro.
And has no cards in his hand. We call that the show of strength.
Right.
That's what we call that.
Edgar surveying his opponent's handiwork.
I like it.
Yeah.
I was surprised Edgar wasn't playing Dimir Inverter since he played it in Richmond when he got second, and he played it at Players Tour Phoenix. But he said that he felt that the matchup was close for Delirium, which we're not seeing that here. But I have to believe him because he's very smart and very good at Magic.
Dilk's also playing the same deck said, I think the matchup's close, and this deck's just really fun to play.
Yeah,
about the Sultai
Dilks
Delirium.
likes the Sultai Delirium deck.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for Dilks, he picked up a loss this round, so he's slid down to 10-4. It looks like Edgar's about to do the same.
I mean, it's not looking good.
It's a good take.
It's not looking,
Strong take. How many dig-through times can one person cast in a game? Not out of cards yet.
Yeah.
Close. I mean, I admire Edgar for just sitting here.
There's always the chance that
really impressive.
Someone could mess up and just like deck themselves. It is I think a good place to play it out.
Could happen. Thassa's Oracle 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. See ya. Camera Neighbor is going to win this game match here over Edgar Magalhaes 2-0, which means that Neighbours is still in top 8 contention while Magalhaes is not.
Winning in maybe next round. When we win in the round, the standings look like